about those of us whose parents are too busy? He said, my parents are never home, and I see so much on TV that scares me, makes me feel bad. I am so alone. What do I do? This is one of our kids from Twitch. Oh, wait a minute. He also typed,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. He also typed, I spend most of my time playing video games because it helps to keep my mind off of my loneliness and fears.
Mm-hmm.
So
I would like to know how old. Is there a way I can figure out the age?
Yes, hold on, let me see. Yeah, type your age, baby. He says, I am 13 years old.
13. Okay, so you're about my son's age, between my son and my daughter. So I'm going to tell you something about that, because it's not your parents' fault for having to work, right? It's a need, okay, and it's hard because we, in this country at least, I don't know if they're from this country, from America.
I'm assuming so. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so I'm going to say in this country, maybe 20 years ago, a one-income family was, right? Dad would go to work, mommy stays home and takes care of the kid, and you have somebody home with you. After, I don't know, 10 years ago, things have changed. It takes two incomes to make the house work. And one of the things that I've always taught my own kids is that you got to be tough, right? You got to understand that if something is scaring you, if something that you're watching is haram, and your parents aren't around to tell you that this is haram, you know it within your heart that this is bad to watch, or this is not good to watch, or this is something that I shouldn't be doing, then you have to be the person that says to yourself, okay, let me just flip the script on this, right? Let me figure out how I can educate myself better, right? Because it's not your parents' fault for having to work all the time. It's they're trying to keep a roof over your head, right? And the one thing you have to always tell you, because you're 13 years old, you're at that age where you can either make yourself or break yourself. Right? I always say between 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, you can either make it or break it. And you're at that cusp of your age, of your life, where you can say to yourself, I can play video games for 3 hours and waste time and get away from reality, or I can make my reality better. How can I use the internet to better myself, right? And I've seen these guys who are drug dealers, just the scummiest of the scumbags, become plumbers and auto mechanics and all this kind of stuff using the internet. I'm pretty sure a 13-year-old kid, and I've seen, don't get me wrong, I've seen 15, 16, and 17-year-olds who are making hundreds of thousands of dollars just doing whatever that thing is called, drop shipping or whatever, learning how to do stuff. And I don't know stuff. I tried it, but my mind is just not capable of comprehending it. But as a 13-year-old, if you learn how to navigate the internet, the sky's the limit of how much halal money you can make, of how much halal knowledge you can attain. And actually, like, if you actually can gain Islamic knowledge by watching those dawah shows. I watch all those dawah guys, right? And I watch those things. That's how I learn get my education on Islam, is watching those dawah guys go to competition with each other and compete with the Christians and the atheists. And I learned that kind of stuff through the videos. It's tough, man, and I feel bad. I understand that being alone is tough, but that's where we come back to our deen as well, because we're never really alone, right? We also understand that Allah is always with us. Okay, so back in the days before cameras got into power, my parents used to say, "Oh, Allah's watching," right? And now, like I told the kids at the school that this past week on Tuesday, I said, my mom and dad used to always say, "Oh, Allah's watching you. God's watching you." Now I'm telling you, not just Allah's watching us and with us, cameras are everywhere watching everything. So on the outside, you gotta be careful what you're doing. And then you're inside when you're by yourself and you think that you're by yourself, you're not really by yourself. The world's at your fingertips. What are you doing with all that power that you have in your hands? Because this is what this is. This is power. This is a huge amount of power right here. If you're not taking advantage of this and you're just wasting 3-4 hours out of your day playing video games, you're not gaining anything from this. Nothing. I even told my own son, I don't care if you play video games. That's fine. Play video games. That's understandable, right? I played Mario. I was a Mario guy. Super Nintendo. Yes, I'm old. Madly knows what I'm talking about. We used to play Nintendo all day long. But we also put a cap on how much we played, right? My parents always said, okay, 1 hour, or that's it, 30 minutes or whatever you get, because they knew the power of going outside and running around and exercising. 13 years old, you should be running, you should be playing, you should be figuring out what sport you want to get into, what you want to master, right? And where do you want to go when you grow up? These are the kinds of things that you should be thinking about as an 11, 12, 13-year-old. I have my daughter now who's 15, works with us on our business. She wants to go into dermatologist. And I told her, that's fine. You want to be a dermatologist, that's good. But I also need you to have something of your own. I want you to think of a type of business that you want to do while you're living with here. So if you fall down, if you fail, I can help you get back up. And she picked something, I think it's called like sugar scrubs or something. She starts making, and she starts selling her own stuff. You know, and alhamdulillah, like you have to kind of understand as a 13-year-old, 14-year-old, 15-year-old, you can't say I can't. I can't is the biggest pet peeve of mine when I'm coaching soccer or coaching basketball. Oh, coach, I can't do that. Oh, Coach Mo, I can't do that. No, you can't. Stop saying you can't. Stop saying you're alone. Stop putting that depression or that feeling inside of you. You have to throw that out the window. You got to stop feeling that type of way and put something else to fill that void up. Your parents aren't there. They're not watching you. What are you doing?
Subhanallah.
Inshallah, that kind of helps them out a little bit.
Subhanallah. And I got so many people typing. And again, this topic came